Well folks, I've come out here, it's a Wednesday, and I wanted to drop the boat real quick to get some content. I'm actually going to try something a little different today. I'm going to go after some triple tail, see if I can get some of those, and then go see if I can find some new spots. But I'm going to try to start doing more content, more educational content. So if there's something that you want to see, please let me know. If I'm missing something, please let me know, because I want to try to be as transparent as possible when I'm out here fishing, so people can get an idea of what I'm doing, and hopefully it will translate into you going out and catching more fish. So we caught bait. Bait was relatively pretty easy, so now we're gonna jump out and hit some shipping channel markers and see if we can't find some triple tail. I've only caught one in my entire life, so what I'm doing today, you're learning right along with me. Well, I stopped by my first marker and I lost one fish, not sure what it was, but when I was going to that marker, I marked some new ledges going to that marker. So I fished the marker for a little bit, and then I headed out to this ledge, and I'll show you what it looks like on the relief shading and on the side imaging. I just lost a pretty big grouper, and but this is a spot that I've driven by I don't know how many times, but I drove by it just right, and boom, it showed up, and I'm like, well, son of a gun, look at that. And then it had some rocky bottom close to it, so I know that there's some fish around. I've been getting hits, but the last fish I had on was pretty decent. Ooh. Just like that one. Oh, I don't know how he came unhooked. Son of a biscuit eater. But anyway, it was just funny that I'm going along and boom, I find this new ledge, and I've lost two really good fish on it. Basically what I'm doing right now, the tide's running pretty decent, so I'm taking a pinfish, hooking them through the butt with the ball jig, and sending them down. 2-ounce ball jig. Tide's not ripping, but it's moving just enough to be able to get some weight. You have to get some weight to get it down there. But that's heartbreaking. That's 2 in a row. I don't think he's not nearly as big as the other ones, but I'll take him. I will take him. I actually really enjoy going out and kind of looking for new areas. When I've got people on the boat, it's a lot harder to do it, simply because I want people to go out and I want to maximize our fishing time as much as we possibly can. But if I'm by myself, I'm definitely going to go out and scout and see what I can pick up. But again, just hooking them through the bottom, right near the anal fin, and dropping them down, and it's pretty much as soon as he's getting to the bottom, they're on it, and they're on it quick. And that fast. Decent grouper. He probably would get close to keeping, but I'm not keeping fish today. Probably gonna be 22 and a half. I'm gonna go measure him just for giggles. Actually 23 and a half. Not bad, close. But I've lost two that would put that one to shame. And I kind of want to reiterate that, you know, people talk about all the time that the grouper fishery is the best in the winter and the snapper fishing is the best during the summer. Look, I'm not going to say that it's not, but there are fish out here all year long. They have enough structure, they have enough bait to live a comfortable life. And so the premise that these fish move in and out, I would say that yes, there's fish that move in and out, but I say a majority of these fish are here all the time. Their diets just change. So it's just a matter of finding what they're going to eat and getting them on. All those fish so far have been on pinfish. Now I'm going to drop a whitebait and see what happens. But just like people say that sheep's head, you can only catch sheep's head in the wintertime. No, just people fish for them in the wintertime because that's when they're spawning and that's when they seem to be more schooled up. But the fact is I guarantee if you went to the spots that you catch sheep's head during the winter, you catch them during the summer too. They don't leave. They're there. People just stop fishing for them. That's the same thing with hogfish. I think hogfish, in my personal opinion, between 50 and 80 feet, even in the middle of the summer, they're prevalent out there. We just go by them. I want to make a point next week to go out to 50 to 80 feet of water and start fishing for hogfish and see what we can do. I think that would be a keeper, pretty close to it, but he's lucky, he's going back. That was on a whitebait, so I don't think it matters what they want. So hooking that whitebait in the belly on that ball jig, sending it down. This tide's starting to slow down now, which may get me out to the lighter stuff. I love using the light stuff. It's just me. I mean, I'm only using 20-pound leader as it is right now, but if I can lighten my jig, I'm going to. I mean, they're on it immediately, as you can see. It's not nearly as big. But as soon as it hits the bottom, they're on it. I'm not even in the major feeding time yet. Tried something different, folks. I bought these lures to see if they would work because I had a friend of mine that says that he's been catching his keeper red grouper offshore with them. So I bought some to see if they would work, to see if they do work and if I'm going to bring them in or not, because on Amazon they're 20 bucks a piece, but I think that's a little bit much. But there's these squid lures. Now that's the third fish that we've caught on one. Two of them were offshore. One was a red grouper, one was a trigger fish. But since this bite was going off so good, I wanted to try it. But a friend of ours, Bo, he swears by them. So I got some, and I might, if I continue to catch fish on them, I might bring them in and sell them for about 15 bucks. They're 20 bucks on Amazon. But if I can bring them in and save some money for people, I'm gonna do it. Okay folks, what I've done is I've gone to a 1/4 ounce Huggy and I'm taking that whitebait and hooking it right through the top of the head. And the tide has slowed down just enough for me to use this. And my first bait down, I got railed. I should probably go to a bigger pole. But it's all in fun. I'm not trying to keep anything. It's just me finding new areas and seeing what I can do. I'm actually going to start hand feeding at 5. because I'm pretty close to the bottom. Just like that, the light stuff is working. I think this may be a snapper. It is. Not a bad snapper. Not a bad snapper. I figured if I lightened up just a little bit that I would get into some snapper. Again, don't hate me for throwing them away or throwing them back, but 3. Puts me at about 30 feet, and then I'll start hand feeding, because they're hitting it up in the water column. They're not hitting it on the very bottom. They're actually hitting it in the upper water column, which I like, because then it gives me an opportunity to get those fish off the bottom. So basically what I'm doing right now is looking for some new areas. I had some ships come through, so I had to move out of the way, and sure enough, bam. I'm telling you right now, it's weird, because this Humminbird side imaging apex compared to the Solix shows me so much more. I'm just shocked at how much more detail there is on this side imaging. But even little stuff like this, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Now you can see where this ledge is right here. So that's what I was fishing on. There's another ledge right there. So I'm going to go see, you can see the ledge coming up here. You can see the fish on top of it. So I didn't even have this one marked. So I'm going to mark this one. Some more hard bottom right there with a little bit of rubble on it. See, anything that's looks off is what I'm going to fish. So I'm going to go back around. And see what I can find. There's another snapper. So I changed up spots, found another ledge, and boom. I've missed like 4 fish on this ledge, but another nice base snapper. Well, I got my triple tail. As you can see, it's so calm that I'm able to lay my line on the water and watch it take off. When it takes off, then I know I've got one, just like there. Oh, missed him. Come. There we go. Oh, may have to go to 20. See if I can capture the line getting. Oh, it's time for me to put up now. Time to go to the big boy pole. I had to go to my big boy pole because I kept getting broken off. Go. Just like that. As I always talk about, if you can get away with downsizing, do it. Problem is that I downsized a little bit too much for those grouper. Using 17-pound test inshore is a little light. I like to use it offshore, especially for snapper. And I was catching snapper, but I just got broke off too many times, so I switched to heavier, to 20, still using a 1/4 ounce Huggy, and that's getting it done. And just like that, I adjust the boat and boom. Not the biggest one in the world, but I'll take them. 5 feet can make a huge difference between catching fish and not catching fish. So if you're on fish and all of a sudden they stop, check to see how your boat is sitting on your GPS, and I guarantee that you may have shifted, and that's exactly what happened to us. That tide is just now starting to go out, so it pushed us, it moved the boat about 10 feet this way, and that's all the difference that it needed. Now they've been eating the white bait as soon as it gets down there. I'm going to try a pinfish, see if they'll eat a pinfish. They should, but you know how finicky they can get. Oh, well, they want pinfish too. I think I'm going to go a little bit heavier now because that tide's starting to pick up. So I'm going to jump to a 1/2 ounce. Again, color doesn't matter, but a lot of guys will color coordinate their tackle box by the colors, which is smart. But as I said, color doesn't seem to matter at all. He wasn't down 3/4 of the way and he hit it. That's a good one. Caught him looking at it. That's why he fought so hard. Caught him right on top of the head. Making adjustments as you go, folks, is key. If you don't make the adjustments, you're not going to stay on the fish. One will keep too. Maybe close to it. God, I wanted to be back in the office by like 1 o'clock, and the bite is just stupid. It's hard to leave a good bite. He won't keep, but he's close. Ugh. He's trying. He's taking out drag. Stalemate. I'm cramping. No. Oh, he had me down in that crap. All right, folks, what happened is this boat shifted just ever so slightly, and it's causing the tide is starting to go out, so it's starting to change. We came off that spot just a little bit, so it kind of got us off there. So I'm going to try to readjust us, see if I can get us back to where we need to be. But this is showing you that there's a good hump right there. You can see part of the ledge right there. You can see it on the navionics. You see a nice ledge right there. Well, folks, if you've made it this far through the video, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. What I wanted to hit on today is I wanted to talk about the gear that we were using, particularly the jigs and the leader line. You heard me say in the video where I was using 17-pound test at one point. It was typically, that's what I use offshore for snapper. So I had it on my rod and I kept getting broken off because it just can't, that's a little bit too light. So primarily what I typically use is our 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and it works great. We do get broken off, but we do catch a lot of fish, as you've seen in this video. Almost all those fish were caught on 20, some were caught on 17, but the snapper were caught on 17, but everything else was caught on 20. I did get broken off, but you know what? I caught fish after fish. If I showed you all of the footage, it would probably be a 35-40 minute video, but I didn't want to bore you with that. I wanted to get into some of the basics that we're using, and primarily we're using the 20-pound Tampa Bay Fishing fluorocarbon leader, and we were using a combination of different jigs depending on what the tide was doing. We started off with a 2-ounce ball jig because the tide was coming in pretty good. And then as soon as the tide started to slack off, we dropped down to a 1/4-inch huggy, and we were catching fish on that. And then as the tide started to turn and go out, we went from a 1/4 to a 1/2 to a 3/4 to a 1 ounce to a 1 1/4 within about a 15 to 20 minute span. And as soon as it got to the point where I wasn't getting the bait down quick enough and it was going past the structure, I jumped up to a 2-ounce ball jig, and then I jumped to a 3-ounce ball jig at the very end because the tide was moving out pretty good and I was still getting hits. I always talk about how when the tide's moving pretty good, that those fish don't like to eat, and that's primarily true. But on this day, it didn't matter what the tide was doing. These fish were eating the bottom of the boat out. It was a really good day, caught a lot of fish, but as I explained on the video before, you want to be able to change it up. So you go from that light huggy jig up to a 3-ounce ball jig. So it changed that fast. It literally changed within, I went from a 1/4 up to 1 1/4 within about 15 to 20 minutes. That's how fast it changed, and having that understanding. So I just wanted to finish off that video talking about that, talking about the style jigs we were using, and you know, how we were doing it. As you saw at one point where the tide was slack, I was slowly letting it down, and you could see the line go on the top of the water, and all of a sudden it shoot off, and that was the fish taking it before it got to the bottom. So anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.